These vampires can turn invisible and move freely even in broad daylight. Lincoln has trained himself as a vampire hunter, coating his axe blade in silver, pushing his skills further every single day, all for one reason: to avenge his parents who were brutally killed. But going up against vampires who can vanish at will, he has to learn how to fight blind in total darkness. Every training session leaves him bruised and bloodied, but his willpower keeps him going. Quitting was never an option, because this stubborn apprentice knows one thing for certain: only by mastering real combat skill can he wipe out every last vampire responsible for his parents' deaths. As a child, Lincoln watched his mother get killed by a vampire. After years of searching, he finally tracked down the killer. The moment he pulled the trigger, the bullet turned out to be a dud. He barely managed to dive into a wooden cabin in time, bracing the door shut with his body while reloading. And just as everything came down to the wire, he finished the job. He thought his revenge was finally complete and got ready to leave. But the next second, the body on the ground simply disappeared. Before Lincoln could process what happened, a horrifying creature slammed him to the ground and then drove him hard into the dirt again. In that critical moment, a mysterious man appeared and tossed the creature aside without effort. When Lincoln came to, he found himself inside some kind of castle. The man introduced himself as Henry, also a vampire hunter. Hearing how much Henry knew about hunting vampires, Lincoln begged him to take him on as a student. After convincing him, Henry started picking out weapons for him to try, but Lincoln turned down every firearm and chose an axe instead. Under Henry's careful guidance, Lincoln became remarkably skilled with the axe. Before long, he had learned everything he needed to hunt vampires effectively. Even though these vampires use sunscreen to walk in daylight, silver weapons could still kill them, and since they had no soul, vampires couldn't be seen in mirrors. That became Henry's go-to method for identifying the enemy.
Thing he can never possess. Art. And the only thing that renders him powerless.
Henry.
Jack
I give you the targets. That was our deal. This is not only about Jack Barnes.
Through Henry's teaching, Lincoln finally understood. The man who killed his parents was just a low-level enforcer. The real enemy was Adam, the vampire who had been creating others like him for centuries. He and his sister had existed in America for hundreds of years, originally surviving by slaughtering Native American tribes and early settlers, until European colonizers arrived with enslaved people, bringing a new kind of opportunity to a land already drenched in cruelty. Countless enslaved people were bought and sent to plantations, forced into brutal cotton picking labor, generating profit while solving the vampire's food problem at the same time. Through this horrific exploitation, Adam and his sister built a powerful underground empire. But even that wasn't enough for them. Over the years, they kept pushing north, leaving destruction in their wake. The vampire hunters existed for one purpose: to preserve the balance between north and south, and make sure humanity remained in control of the country. To speed up Lincoln's growth as a fighter, Henry sent him alone to the border region between north and south. From that point forward, Lincoln worked at a general store by day and hunted vampires hiding in town by night. One creature making sunscreen sensed danger immediately and went on the offensive to throw off Lincoln's vision, then triggered a hidden mechanism in the room, hanging Lincoln upside down in the basement, right beside enslaved people being drained of their blood. Lincoln panicked and fought to break free, but the vampire kicked his axe away and pulled out a razor, ready to drain him too. Luckily, Henry had taught him to always have a backup plan. Lincoln found his chance, biting down on a dagger that had fallen near his waist and slashing the creature's throat open. In that window, he used everything he had to cut himself free, grabbed his axe, and finished off his first vampire kill. After burying the body, Lincoln felt nothing inside because he knew this was only the beginning of his path. In the years that followed, Henry kept sending letters, and Lincoln's combat skills sharpened with every fight. Even vampires capable of going invisible couldn't get the upper hand on him anymore. He'd throw his axe as a distraction, then close the distance and take the head clean off. In just 6 months, he had killed hundreds of vampires and finally earned Henry's full approval. It was time to go after the one who killed his mother. Lincoln wanted to catch him off guard, but this one had an incredibly sharp sense of smell. The moment Lincoln stepped into the stable, the creature sensed danger in the air.
Abraham fucking Lincoln.
Again! Hope you're better with an axe than you were with the gun!
He had already anticipated the attack and released every horse in the stable. He leapt between two of them like a man possessed, forcing them down with raw strength. Lincoln didn't have time to react and got knocked off his feet by the horses. Before he could regain his footing, the rest of the herd came charging straight at him. He could only dodge frantically left and right. Just as the vampire lunged at him, Lincoln pulled his axe and pressed it against the creature's throat, using the panicked horses to send him flying. But that alone wasn't enough to take him down. The two of them kept clashing on horseback until they both went over the edge of a cliff together. The vampire thought grabbing a weapon would give him the advantage, but Lincoln triggered a hidden rifle built into the axe handle and pulled the trigger, finally ending the man who had killed his mother with his own hands. Lincoln couldn't wait to share the news with Henry, but the moment he saw him, he realized Henry was a vampire too.